Hi there, Leslie Sansone Williams here. Glad you're with me today. Today's video is about the 5 hottest paralegal jobs for 2017. And I won't list these in order of importance. I'm just going to list 5. And I'll leave my favorite. It doesn't mean it's the hottest, but I'll leave my favorite to the last. The first one is tax law specialist. Now, for all of these, go to Indeed.com, Indeed.com. It's a job website that I like to use because I do research on that site about different jobs and the duties for each job. So go on there and check out tax law specialists, and it will bring up other titles within this field because it might be called something else. It might be called something else within that, that title. And I know one state in particular offers a certificate for this type of law for the paralegal. So if you're interested in numbers, numbers just make you happy, and you love working with numbers as well as documents, because this is going to be document heavy on what most fields in law are, but tax law would probably be very heavy. And I would check into that. That's a specialty that an attorney I worked for liked, and he got an advanced degree in tax law for the state of Florida. So I would check into that on Indeed.com and see what the duties are and if that's something that really lights your fire. But that's one of the hottest careers for paralegals, I believe, right now. The next one is going to be international law. These, the ones that I'm mentioning don't really go out of style much. They don't. I think there's always a need for this type of paralegal and this type of attorney. So international law, of course, the U.S. does business with Canada, Mexico, overseas in Asia and Europe, all over the place. So we need attorneys who specialize in that, and the attorney needs a paralegal. So there's a lot of business going on regarding trade issues, consumer goods, all of that. And I think it would be an interesting field. And I would check into that one as well. That's a hot one in my opinion. The third one would be contracts. And contracts are a field that I worked in. One which was with a firm in Tallahassee. I actually worked on contracts for a bank, and it was for the safety deposit box. And people signed contracts for that, like for a year, and we had to work on and change up the wording and all of that, just minor issues. But there are other contracts that are maybe more interesting, and one contract area I worked in was automobile dealership law. The automobile dealers have to sign contracts with the car makers in order to have the privilege of selling a particular make and model of car. So they have to sign contracts in order to do that. And those were interesting to read. And every make of car they carry, if it's a different company, that they have to sign a contract. So it's an interesting field, but that's a wide open field. And if you work for a corporate or a private law firm, you will probably make more money than you would if you worked for the government in that field. And the government has a contract area for Department of Environmental Protection, for instance, has contracts. And one attorney I used to work for left the firm I was with and went to work for DEP. And she wanted me to come along, but I really didn't want to just work on contracts. I do better if I have a lot of different things to work on during the day. So that's food for thought. Look up contract paralegal, and you have to know what each of the clauses in a particular contract mean and what they're for, and know it inside out and backwards. So check into that as well. And number 4 would be labor law. And it could be employment law, also called that. and it might be something that you have a high interest in or that you're curious about. Look that up on the internet. I worked for a mediator in Tallahassee for a while, and he handled employment disputes. And it's a very interesting field. So I would check into that one, but here's my favorite. My favorite one is litigation, where you handle lawsuits, you handle going to trial, you prepare all the documents, you talk to the clients a lot as the paralegal, you get all of the details and prepare everything for trial. Now, attorneys bring their computers into the courtroom, bring a laptop, and your responsibility would be to make sure he's set up properly for that. It's much quicker for them to search a deposition on the computer than the old days of just thumbing through it and trying to find where something was said. And so litigation is interesting. You could work in the personal injury field, medical malpractice, or you could work in eminent domain, condemnation litigation. There's so many areas that are interesting to me, and I really feel it gives you a lot of flexibility in the paralegal job market. When you focus on litigation, it's not the be-all end-all. If you don't care for that, don't worry about it. You can also work in criminal law, where the trials sometimes are very famous, and sometimes not so much. But think about that field. I've had attorneys say to me in interviews that they were very confident I could handle the work that they had because I had worked trials. I had handled a lot of paperwork, a lot of detail. I had to pull a lot together. So that's how they view somebody who has litigation experience. I would really think about that one and look it up on Indeed.com as litigation paralegal, or you could look up personal injury paralegal. And what's the other? Condemnation litigation, eminent domain litigation. Look up that and get a feel for what paralegals do and what their duties are for each of those. Well, that's it for today. Don't forget to check out the latest videos on YouTube. New ones are being posted every week, and my channel name is Leslie Williams 126, and also the website lesliesansonewilliams.com, and you'll find free podcasts there, and new ones are added every week as well. So have a great day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.